Tony Richardson.
Tony Richardson.
Auburn University.
Auburn. Despite starting his football career as a teenager, Tony Richardson earned a scholarship to Auburn. In his senior season, he was a key figure in the Tigers' undefeated season, only to find himself undrafted. After being cut by the Dallas Cowboys, he found a home in Kansas City. It would be the beginning of an outstanding 16-year career in the National Football League with the Chiefs, Minnesota Vikings, and New York Jets. As a fullback, Richardson scored 24 touchdowns, but he made his name and 4 Pro Bowls on his reputation as a devastating lead blocker. At one point, he paved the way for 1,000-yard rushers for 9 straight seasons, blocking for the likes of Marcus Allen, Priest Holmes, Larry Johnson, Adrian Peterson, and LaDainian Tomlinson. Tony Richardson is a member of the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Senior Bowl Hall of Fame, Mr. Tony Richardson.
Well, first of all, it's such an honor and a pleasure, and it's very humbling, as Woody said, to be a part of such an amazing class. As Woody did, first and foremost, without my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, none of this would be possible. So definitely give credit to the Lord for everything that's happened in my life. I'm actually going to keep this short. I'm in the media, so I like to talk. So I know we have a 5 to 15, possibly 30-minute window. I'm not going to take that long. But obviously, Cal, he's going to tell you a little bit about his story. He has somewhere really, really important to be. So he's speaking after me, so I need to get off the stage so he can do what he needs to do and take care of his business. But it's an honor to me. What's all this Alabama talk? I went to Auburn. All right. But anyway, it's probably one of the few places that, you know, a hallway that you can have Alabama and Auburn men in the same place, and we're actually going to get along. So, Woody, I want to say congratulations to you. I had when I was in Kansas City, Woody was one of our coaches, and you're talking about a man of humility, a man of faith, a man of character, and he was the same man every single day. So, and obviously some of those hits on the. I wish we can get back to playing football like that again. Well, I don't know what's all this patty cake football we play nowadays, but you know, from the man that you are, Woody, you taught me a lot. You know, just seeing you every day, showing up to work, encouraging the guys, encouraging the men to not only be better football players, to be better people. And so for me to be able to have an opportunity to go into the hall with you is definitely a pleasure to go in with another Alabama man. Obviously, Derek Thomas is in the hall, and he was a very good friend of mine and someone that I unfortunately had to eulogize when I was in Kansas City. But to go in with you, Woody, is definitely an honor. And obviously, I think we coined the phrase tonight that this is kind of not a glamorous hall. And this young man to my left, I had a chance to play against him. And one thing you know, we call him a lunch pail type of guy. That every play, you better know where he's at because he's going to hit you hard. He's not going to say a lot. He's going to get back up. He's going to go back to his position. He's going to hit you again. He's going to do it again for 40 or 60, 50 plays. So, Cal, it's obviously an honor and a pleasure to go in with you as well. I remember you coming into the National Football League and we having to do scouting reports when I was with the Jets. And just all he does is just show up week after week. Now Pro Bowl after Pro Bowl, contract after contract, just making that big money now. Yeah, but it's definitely a pleasure to go in with you as well. For me to be here tonight is definitely an honor. You know, as a fullback, you really don't play the game for fame. You play it, as Woody said, you play it for the team, and you play it for the guys you block with. And so for me as a fullback, you know, now I'm away from the game and, you know, into a different career. And you know, I've been out of the National Football League for about 4 years, but when I got the call, my agent's Pat Dye Jr., and when I got the call, when he called to congratulate me, it takes you back. It takes you back to 1990, a small town kid out of Daleville, Alabama, having an opportunity to go play at the University of Auburn. The 2-a-days, back then we had 4-a-days, the 4-day practices. Bud Casey, who was our running back coach at the time, you know, yelling and screaming and telling you, blood on the saddle. He'd tell me every day, he'd say, son, we could find about 15 kids over there across the track that can do a better job. I thought for 3 years I had no business at the University at Auburn. But you think about all those days to get to a point like this, you know, having Coach Dye, you know, teach you about about being a man, about giving it everything you have, about playing for the love of the game, about playing for the name on the front of the jersey, which is Auburn, and not for the name on the back, which is Richardson. And that taught me a lot about my life. In the audience tonight, I have two of my heroes here tonight. And my dad was a military man, retired Vietnam veteran. And my sister just got back from Afghanistan. And to me, that's what a true hero is really all about. Because I was there fortunate enough when my sister came back from Afghanistan a few months ago, and we probably had a lot of my family and friends and a lot of her family and friends to be there. But, you know, all in all, it's probably 100 people. And those are our true soldiers, our true heroes, where there should have been a celebration of thousands of people to say, you know, pat you on the back as a troop and say, you know, thank you so much for protecting our country. But it was a one-day ceremony, and now she's back to work. So for me, all our military people in here, I would just like to say you guys do a great job, and to me, you're our real hero, so thank you very much. Like I said, it's definitely an honor and a blessing to be here. Like I said, I never played a game for accolades, for Hall of Fames, for Pro Bowls. But, you know, I look back, all my high school football coach, you know, Perry Swindle, who was very influential in me going to Auburn and telling me that if I work really hard in school and if I work really hard in the weight room and if I give everything I have on the Friday nights, there might be an opportunity. And then coming to college and having Bud Casey as my running back coach and then having Pat Dye as my head coach. And then my senior year of having, you know, Terry Boughton as our football coach. And so for me, the Senior Bowl was probably the biggest opportunity in my life, because we, in 1993, for our Auburn fans, everyone would know this, Alabama fans you probably don't know, but we actually went undefeated. We were on probation that year. So you're talking about a team that really was getting punished for something that we really didn't have anything to do with. And so what we did as a band of brothers, we just joined arms, and obviously it affected us that we couldn't play on national television. It affected us that we couldn't be nationally ranked, even though we went through the entire SEC, which we know is extremely difficult to do, and go 11-0. And so what we did for that entire year, we just came together as a band of brothers. And so I remember when I got that call to go to the Senior Bowl, I knew it was going to be probably my one opportunity to really shine and show that a young fullback from Daleville, Alabama can play on the main level. And I remember getting there, and obviously, of course, I was intimidated. Our head coach was Don Shula. Special team coach was Mike Westhoff, who's a friend of mine now. But I know that was my opportunity to the National Football League. So for everybody in the room, obviously Phil and your staff do a phenomenal job of selecting the players, and obviously thank you for electing me into this hall. But you guys are definitely making a difference, because you had I, as an undrafted free agent from a small town in Daleville, had an opportunity to play in a game called a Senior Bowl, and that was the first time that college scouts would really be able to see what Tony Richardson was able to do. And so for everyone that's in this room who has a part of the Senior Bowl, of growing this game and giving young men an opportunity, I want to say, thank you, because you're definitely making a difference in a lot of young people's lives, as you did for mine. Obviously, like I said, I have my family here tonight. I have my mom and my dad who've been there since day one. Obviously, they've been there since day one, and loved and supported me all the way through the way, and just really, taught me to be football was great. They always supported me in my football games, but they talked to me about my education, about, finishing my degree at Auburn, going back to graduate school, getting my MBA, doing the right things to be a great person, not on the field, but off the field as well. I have two of my sisters here, my sister Shawn, who's in the military, my sister Dee Dee, who drove up from Panama City, Florida. I have my aunt, who's kind of like my mom's, my dad's sister. She's amazing, has been there through everything. Seen me a little snotty-nosed little kid, and she'd always make my favorite pound cake for all the holidays. I got my cousin Stacy, who's been there. He's been like a brother, who took me fishing when I would stay with my grandparents during the summertime, would take me on his paper routes and out throwing newspapers early in the morning. Stacy, I'll never forget that. And last but not least, my nephew Andre, who's really been like a son to me. He was a good young man, and my sister being in the military and being a single mom, she's had to raise him and do a good job of being basically a mom and a dad. And so whenever she's gone and whenever she's not around, he's the guy, I'm the guy, my dad, that he's been able to look up to. So you keep up the good work, Andre. You definitely make us proud. I wasn't supposed to get emotional tonight. I don't know. Auburn men do cry too. We do shed tears. But like I said, I'm going to keep this short tonight. I just want to say thank you to everyone who made this night possible. Obviously, thank Phil and his staff. This has been first class from first class flight. So the flight was first class, to the hotels, to everything has just been great. you guys keep up the good work, because like I said, there's some young men out there who's going to have an opportunity to play in the Senior Bowl, and they might be a kid from a small college, and now he gets a chance to compete against someone in the SEC, which we know is the best conference, and go out and perform and have an opportunity to play in the National Football League like I did for 17 years, and to be able to make a difference in a lot of young people's lives. So thank you so much. I'm truly honored, and War Eagle.